Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasati Gaur Bhakta-vrinda. Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasati Gaur Bhakta-vrinda. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare. Radha Krishna, Jaya Radha Krishna, Radha Krishna, Jaya Lalita Vishaka. Jaya Gaura Nitai, Jaya Gaura Nitai, Gaura Nitai, Jaya Gaura Nitai. Jaya Jagannatha, Jaya Jagannatha, Baladeva, Jaya Subhadamai. Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Prabhupada. Jai Vishnu Paramahansa Bhavaraj Gacharya Sadasi with AC Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai Namacharya Haridas Thakur Ki Jai Prem Sagaho Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasri Gaur Bhaktivinoda Ki Jai Sri Sri Radha Krishna Gopa Gopida Shama Kunda Radha Kudda Gita Govardhan Ki Jai Sri Vrindavan Dham Ki Jai Navadvip Dham Ki Jai Ganga Jamuna Tulasi Bhakti Devi Ki Jai Ananda Koti Vaishnava Vrinda Ki Jai Samaveta Bhaktivinoda Ki Jai Go Premanandi all glories to the assembled devotees, all glories to the assembled devotees, all glories to the assembled devotees, all glories to Sri Guru and Sri Gauranga, all glories to Srila Prabhupada. Krishna Balaba Girivardhari Yasoda Nandana Bradajana Ranjana Yasoda Jamuna Tira Vanachari Jamuna Tira Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada. Namaskar Paramahansa Bhavaraja Gacchaya Astapurasi Svidesi Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai Namacharya Haridas Thakur Ki Jai Ram Sagaho Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhar Shri Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Ki Jai Sri Sri Radha Krishna Gopa Gopida Shama Kunda Radha Kutta Giri Govardhan Ki Jai Sri Vrindavan Dham Ki Jai Navadvip Dham Ki Jai Ganga Jamuna Tulsi Bhakti Devi Ki Jai Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda Ki Jai Samaveta Bhakta Vrinda Ki Jai Gop Premanandi All glories to the assembled devotees, all glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees, all glories to Sri Guru and Sri Gauranga, all glories to Srila Prabhupada. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Namo Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Buddhale Shrimati Bhaktivedanta Swami Niti Namane Namaste Saraswata Deve Gauravani Pracharane Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Desha Talane Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhar Sri Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 10, Chapter 37, verse 1. Shri Sukha Ukam Saprahita Kuramani Ayo Nirjara Yanma Manojavaha Shatava Dut Abra Vimana Sankulam Kurvana bo heshita vishita kila. Sri Sukha Uvacha. Sri Sukadeva Goswami said, Kheshi, the demon named Kheshi, to and then Kamsa Prahita, sent by Kamsa, Kurai, with his hooves, Mahim, the earth, Mahahaya, huge horse, near Jarayan, ripping apart, Mana, like that of the mind, Java, whose speed, Shata, by the hairs of his mane, Avaduta, scattered, Abra, with the clouds, Vimana, and the airplanes, Sankulam, crowded, Kurvan, making, Nabha, the sky, Hishta, by his neighing, Bishita, frightened, Akila, everyone. Translation, Sukadeva Goswami said, the demon Kheshi, sent by Kamsa, appeared in Vraja as a great horse. Running with the speed of the mind, he tore up the earth with his hoofs. The hairs of his mane scattered the clouds and the demigods' airplanes throughout the sky, and he terrified everyone present with his loud neighing. When the Supreme Personality of Godhead saw how the demon was frightening his village of Gokul by neighing terribly and shaking the clouds with his tail, the Lord came forward to meet him. Kheshi was searching for Krishna to fight, so when the Lord appeared before him and challenged him to approach, the horse responded by roaring like a lion. Seeing the Lord standing before him, Kheshi ran towards him in extreme rage, his mouth gaping as if to swallow up the sky. Rushing with furious speed, the unconquerable and unapproachable horse demon tried to strike the lotus-eyed Lord with his two front legs. But the transcendental Lord dodged Keshi's blow, and then with his arms angrily seized the demon by the legs, whirling him around in the air, and contemptuously threw him the distance of 100 bow lengths, just as Garuda might throw a snake. Lord Krishna then stood there. Upon regaining consciousness, Kheshi angrily got up, opened his mouth wide, and again rushed to attack Lord Krishna. But the Lord just smiled and thrust his left arm into the horse's mouth as easily as one would make a snake enter a hole in the ground. Keshi's teeth immediately fell out when they touched the Supreme Lord's arm, which to the demon felt as hot as molten iron. Within Keshi's body, the Supreme Personality's arm then expanded greatly, like a diseased stomach swelling because of neglect. Purport, Srila Vishnu Chakravarti points out that although Lord Krishna's arm is more tender and cooling than a blue lotus, to Kheshi it felt extremely hot, as if made of lightning bolts. As Lord Krishna's expanding arm completely blocked Keshi's breathing, his legs kicked convulsively, his body became covered with sweat, and his eyes rolled around. The demon then passed stool and fell on the ground, dead. The mighty armed Krishna withdrew his arm from Keshi's body, which now appeared like a long karkatika fruit. Without the least display of pride at having so effortlessly killed this enemy, the Lord accepted the demigod's worship in the form of flowers rained down from above. My dear king, thereafter Lord Krishna was approached in a solitary place by the great sage among the demigods, Narada Muni. That most exalted devotee spoke as follows to the Lord, who effortlessly performs his pastimes. Purport, after speaking with Kamsa, Narada went to see Lord Krishna. The Lord's Vrindavan pastimes were nearly completed, and Narada wanted to see those he would enact in Mathura. So this chapter first deals with the killing of Kheshi. As we learned in the last chapter, one of Kamsa's plans was to send Kheshi to kill Krishna, now that he knew for certain that Krishna was living in Vrindavan. So therefore he sent this demon who was supposed to carry out the job. So he must have been very qualified to kill Krishna, because previously so many other demons had been killed. So this demon was particularly ferocious and huge. So this demon, as described here, is Mahahaya, where Haya means a horse. So he's a huge horse in shape, who was moving at the speed of the mind, manojala. Very, very quickly, in other words. He moved about, and he had a mane on his, the hair on his neck was there, and he had a huge tail. So very, very ferocious and very huge. So huge that the hairs on his mane seemed to scatter the clouds in the sky. And even the demigods' airplanes got disturbed because of this. So, in other words, it describes the huge body and very, very strong. So it is described here that he was breaking up the earth with his hoofs. So this was tends to lead to the indicate the ferocious nature of the horse demon, and therefore he instilled fright in everyone. Moreover, he also neighed very loudly, so this also gave fright to everyone. Therefore, Krishna took upon himself to protect everyone. Immediate. So therefore, it's nothing for the Lord if even demons can assume strange forms. So here we have a horse form. Previously, we see Putana took a huge form of a gopi. And then we see, but actually it wasn't her form, she was a huge monster. But she took the form of a gopi. And we see Bakasura was a bird, and Agasura was a snake, and Dhenukasura was a donkey, I guess. And so we see all sorts of forms of demons they can assume. Similarly, it is described in Brihad Bhagavatamrita, the devotees also in Vaikuntha, they can assume any form they want to. So they can become a bird or a plant or any animal they want to by their will. Therefore, what to speak of the Supreme Lord, he can also assume any form. If even the demons can do this and the devotees can do this in Vaikuntha, the Lord also can do it. Nothing very strange about that. The difference, of course, is that the Lord does this for his pastimes, which are for pleasing the devotees, protecting the devotees, restoring dharma, etc. And the demons do this to combat the Lord, fight with the Lord. So they take a particular form in which they think is capable of fighting with the Lord and killing the Lord, even though they don't believe in the Lord. So they take this form to try to kill him, though the Lord cannot be killed. So it's actually useless. Whatever form they take is actually useless. So they try different methods. So of course, so we have the snake demon Agasura. What does it try to do? It tries to swallow Krishna and all the calves and cowherd boys. Just like a python will swallow a huge animal. Sometimes they swallow a deer or something, a big python opens up and swallows a deer. So he takes that form to try to swallow him. Or similarly, Bakasura opens his mouth and tries to swallow Krishna, just as he takes fish, a crane takes fish in his mouth and swallows him like that. Or, of course, Putana as a gopi, tried to feed Krishna milk and poison him. Or the Sakadasura tried to crush Krishna with the cart. Or the whirlwind demon tries to take Krishna up in there and drop him and kill him that way. So they take different forms and different methods of trying to kill Krishna. none of it works. So here he took the form of a horse. So normally horses are not so ferocious like tigers or lions or things like that. But this particular horse was huge, and of course he had these hoofs, and he had his mouth for biting. But in spite of taking this huge form to try to kill Krishna, it describes here how very easily Krishna was able to kill him. So in spite of the speed of this horse, because horses are renowned for their speed, so this was a big horse, and he was very, very quick, moving at the speed of the mind. Still, though he was very quick, and when he tried to attack, Krishna was able to counteract that very easily. Krishna was quicker. And then it describes how his, what was the method of killing him? He stuck his fist in his mouth. And this way he choked him also. Of course, before that he threw him around, etc. also, and whirled him around by his legs, etc., and tossed him away. So he put his left arm into his mouth, and then that was it, finished. So we don't actually see how he killed him, in one sense, but it's described how the fist was like red-hot iron in his throat, and it burned him up like that, choked to death. So in one sense, he disguised his powers a little bit by just sticking his left hand in his mouth and died like that. Even though he was a huge demon also. So somewhat disguised, just as he disguised his killing of other demons also, so no one really could see how he did it. So here again, he showed his expertise at throwing him around, etc., and then to kill him, he stuck his fist in his mouth and he died like that. So in this way, Krishna displays his virya, his desire to fight. In this case, not with a devotee, which would be the real secondary rasa, but he fights with a demon, and this becomes pleasing to the devotees because they see the expert manner in which Krishna is able to combat the demon, and they're pleased that he can very easily kill the demon. So with this display, then when he had enough of this virya rasa with the demon, then he promptly killed him. So there is one remark here by Vishnu Chakravarti that his arm was like a hot iron for the demon, but for the devotee the same arm is very cooling. So it's hot for the demon, so it burns his mouth out, and it's very cooling for the devotee, and it soothes the devotee and gives him pleasure. So this is the nature of Krishna. He can display opposite qualities with his same form. Just as simultaneously he displayed all 12 rasas to the people of Mathura. Different persons saw Krishna differently. So the yogis saw him as peace personified in Brahman, and the young women saw him as Cupid personified, and the cowherd boy saw him as a friend, and Kamsa saw him as death, fear rasa. So completely opposite results. They saw him completely in a different way, all different persons. So if the young women saw him as Cupid, then they saw him as a very delicate boy, and Vasudeva and Devaki saw him as a small, helpless child, whereas the wrestlers saw him as a thunderbolt, which is very harder than diamonds. So he was a very, very strong opponent to the wrestlers, and if they punched him, nothing would happen. Yet the young women of Mathura saw him as a very delicate boy, and the parents saw him as very helpless, actually, and that the wrestlers would crush him and injure him.
So in other words, opposite. They see opposite way. And Kamsa sees him as death personified, very formidable and threatening. Whereas the young women see him as with great affection. So he appears very affectionate or very fearful simultaneously. So this is the nature of the Supreme Lord. Within him, he has all rasas, some of which are opposite of each other, and he has all powers and all qualities, which are also opposite of each other. So he can be very, very soft, and he can be very, very strong. He can be very, very cooling. He can be very, very hot simultaneously. It's not a problem for him. With different persons, he can do this. So all these qualities inherent in the Supreme Lord, and they manifest in relation to different persons. So for the devotees, he shows very wonderful, positive qualities, and for the demons, all the fearful qualities meant for punishing them. So in relation to the person, then, the Lord shows different qualities. And for the devotees, those who have different rasas, then they see within the Lord those different qualities. So the gopis see Krishna as a young boy who is their lover, and the elders see him as their son, and the friends see him as an equal. So they all see him a little differently, even with affection. So Krishna contains everything within him, and it manifests according to the person. So nothing is impossible for Supreme Lord. So here in Vrindavan, this is actually the last demon that Krishna kills in Vrindavan, the kheshi demon. And then, since the demon was killed, and not Krishna, then the second plan of Kamsa is to bring Krishna to Mathura. And there the elephant will kill him, and if the elephant doesn't kill him, the wrestlers will kill him. That's his plan. So first plan didn't work. So therefore the second plan has to be done. And therefore Akrura goes, and then he persuades Krishna and Balaram to go to the festival in Mathura. But before that, we see that Narada Muni comes, just as he had gone to see Kamsa and inform him that Krishna was there so that he would bring him, etc. So now he goes to Krishna and encourages him to go to Mathura and leave Vrindavan, even though it may be very, very difficult for him. So in this way, we get a conclusion of the Vrindavan pastimes. And then from now on, we get the Mathura and the Dwarka pastimes. So of all the pastimes, the Vrindavan pastimes are considered to be the sweetest. Now, of course, all the pastimes are great because they all concern Krishna. So the whole 10th canto is about Krishna. And they're all part of Swayam Bhagavan Krishna, all these pastimes. But of all those pastimes, the pastimes in Vrindavan are considered to be the sweetest. So in Nectar Devotion, there's described that Krishna in Dwarka is Purna, and in Mathura is Purnatara, which means more perfect. And in Vrindavan, he is Purnatama, which means most perfect. So he shows the most qualities in Vrindavan. Secondly, in Mathura, he shows a little bit less, and thirdly, in Dwarka, he shows a little bit less. So mainly the less, what we call less qualities manifesting in Mathura and Dwarka are the sweetness aspect, because in Mathura and Dwarka, everyone sees him as Supreme Lord. So this decreases the sweetness. And of course, in Dwarka, more than in Mathura. So therefore, Dwarka is only Purna, whereas Mathura is Purnatara, more perfect. But of everything, Vrindavan is considered Purnatama, the sweetest. So these are the pastimes, generally, that the devotees enjoy hearing and remembering. And they're encouraged to develop a relationship with this Vrindavan Krishna. since this is the Purnatama form. So therefore, there's more commentary on this portion than there is on the rest of the 10th canto, generally, except for the prayers of the personified Vedas, which is more philosophical thing. But or when we have Krishna meeting the people of Vrindavan at Kurukshetra, then there's big commentary on that. Or when Uddhava returns to Vrindavan, there's a commentary on that. So when it's related to the people of Vrindavan, then we get lots of commentary. Or when it's the pastimes in Vrindavan. Otherwise, there's much less commentaries on everything. So this is we can say the essence there. And of these chapters, then, the ultimate essence is the 5 chapters in the Rasa Leela. Those are considered to be the ultimate, because it's Madhurya Rasa with the gopis. And the Rasa Leela is considered to be the most spectacular display of Madhurya Rasa. So that is considered to be the essence of the Bhagavatam ultimately.
We see that the exhibition of this sort of extraordinary powers of Leelas done by the Lord, though it is an enjoyable thing for the devotees, for the common man's perception, it only shows that there is some extraordinary power. So somebody who exhibits some sort of extraordinary power in the world is also considered as God. But we are not able to convince them that they are different from Krishna. How we do that?
Well, obviously people that don't have faith won't accept. If they're materialists, they'll think of everything materially. So therefore it is said that the Bhagavatam is not for the materialists. It's only for those who have adhikar, some qualification. And those who can really understand it are only those who are very, very pure and have destroyed their material conceptions. Nevertheless, people are encouraged to read or hear about the Bhagavatam and the pastimes of Krishna. Through that, in the association of devotees, gradually they can develop some attraction, and through that become more and more purified.
We find a demon after demon when Kamsa is sinning, Krishna is killing. How can Kamsa even doesn't know that there is one boy or somebody who is very powerful, and he's not having eagerness to find out that simply he's keeping on sending the demons and they're getting killed.
Well,
and he needs Narada's advice to know who is Krishna.
In one sense, we can say it is all Krishna's arrangement, because he wants to perform his pastimes in Vrindavan. So at the same time, Kamsa, though he's intelligent materially speaking, he also is somewhat covered over, and he does the wrong thing at the wrong time sometimes, And so therefore he can't even understand what is happening sometimes, and maybe Krishna's will is involved there to make him do certain things as well.
We can say that maybe Kamsa is thinking that actually it's not Krishna's killing, some demigods are helping him to kill.
Well, like that, obviously he doesn't, only when Narada Muni goes there, then he really understands. So before that, he's sending the demons out and they all get killed, but he doesn't know if that's, the son of Vasudeva, because he didn't know about that incident where Vasudeva took the child and put it in Vrindavan, etc.
And Maharaj, you are saying that, Krishna has a rasa, like a Bira rasa with the devotees as well as the demons. So it is a desire of Krishna. So how can we say that Krishna has a desire, because he's Atma Rama?
Oh, yeah. Well, Atma Rama is one aspect of the Supreme Lord, just like Brahmana is one aspect of the Lord. But that's a lesser aspect. So the Lord is independent, self-sufficient, doesn't depend on anybody. But then we see Krishna is controlled by bhakti. Krishna Karshani, prema, controls Krishna. So that's a contradiction. If he is independent and self-satisfied, how can he become attracted to bhakti and devotees? And then he's controlled by devotees. How can it be? So this is, we can say, an aspect of inconceivable nature where contrary qualities exist in the Lord. But it can also be explained in terms of Shakti. That actually the prema of the devotee is actually his own Shakti. In other words, he has a Sladini Shakti and a Samvit Shaktis which produces bhava and prema, and these manifest in the devotee. So therefore, if he's controlled by that, he's controlled by his own Shakti. So then he's independent in that sense, because it's part of himself. So why is he attracted to those devotees? Because they're part of himself. So nothing wrong with that.
You see that in the previous chapter, Kamsa ordered Akrura that you go and bring Krishna in Mathura. So, but here again, next chapter we see that Kheshi is being killed by Krishna. So, how to understand that this Kheshi was sent by Kamsa before discussing with Narada or after that?
Afterwards, Narada Muni informed everything. Then he went away, and then Kamsa told his plan to the demons.
But because he already sent Akrura, you go and bring Krishna here. He told already Akrura his plan and everything.
Yeah, that was after he called the demons and he made his plan. Then he called Akrura and sent him.
Yeah. So means
and then Narada went after. And then there's maybe a time gap or something like that, where first he sent Kheshi, and then Narada came, and then finally Akrura came.
So it was the previous plan of previous plan of Kamsa. This plan was he made this plan previously before meeting Narada.
No.
Afterwards.
Yeah. When he found out, then he said, "I'll send Kheshi, and then I'll have him brought to Mathura if Kheshi doesn't kill him, and then the elephant will kill him."
So then he has three plans.
Three plans.
Huh? Another question is that we know that Krishna is called Keshava because of he kills this Kheshi. Because of his name is Keshava. So, but Keshava has also some meaning also. Kashava, something has meaning.
Yeah, also beautiful hair, means beautiful hair. Kesha, his hair, he has beautiful hair. And also I think Ka Isha Va, he is, controls Shiva and Brahma. That's another meaning.
Vrindavan is a place where Lord exhibits his pure pastimes, sweet pastimes. The question may be arise, why killing and all the ghastly anger? That should happen. That should happen only in Mathura and Dwarka. Fighting.
Well, here it's covered over. All the killing is covered over, so it doesn't interfere with the sweetness. So they don't even know it, and it's done to protect the people of Vrindavan. So the motive is sweet also.
But we see in the previous chapter that Narada informs Kamsa about the whereabouts of Krishna. Is there any specific reason that Kamsa is not coming directly to attack Krishna in Vrindavan?
Well, we can say because he's the king, he doesn't want to involve personally. So even when he comes to Mathura, he wants the wrestlers to do it. Or just as even the Supreme Lord does not get involved in the material world, he expands himself as Mahavishnu, Garbhadaksha Vishnu, Shirgasha Vishnu. Then he appoints Devatas to take care of the material world, so he doesn't directly do everything in the material world. And so, in the same way, Kamsa has his agents to carry out his work. Mm-hmm. Well, he doesn't even consider Krishna Kshatriya. So it's not worthy of fighting with in one sense. Well, the demons got in. Other demons got in.
There is a local story also there, that once Kamsa come to even Raval to kidnap Srimati Radharani also.
Huh?
There is a local story that, once Kamsa come to Raval to kidnap Srimati Radharani, I think you know that story. And there is a called, what is called? Kishori Kunz,
I see.
Kishori
Okay.
Kunz. So he
Of course, there's also one other demon there. What is it? Govardhan Mala? Who is he's related to Kamsa, huh? His brother-in-law or something. And he's related to Kamsa or something. So he's the, what is he? Is he the husband of Chandravali or something. But he was also considered a demoniac.
It's not mentioned in the scriptures, even the Govardhan Malaya, these are acharyas mentioned.
It's mentioned by the Goswamis in their dramas. I think Rupa Goswami mentions in one place in drama.
Krishna made his appearance on the request of Devatas. And in the future cantos, we see on the 11th canto somewhere, the Devatas are coming and requesting Krishna to finish his pastimes and leave. And we see the constant demons coming, and Devatas' activity seems to be not to be very understandable. In the 11th canto, Devatas make a request to Krishna, now that you have finished your pastimes, you may kindly leave. They are saying in the 11th canto. So it is on his request, on their request he comes, and Devatas act in a way that, okay, now that you have finished, you leave.
What's that?
But the Devatas are requesting Krishna to leave. Now that you have finished your pastime, the demons are finished, why don't you? I mean, if you want, you may leave.
Well, this is a matter of politeness, I think. Since they requested him to come, then they can't demand that he stay there, because he's the Supreme Lord. So it's just like, somebody, the king comes, so you can't say, okay, now you have to stay here. So you've done your work, so you can go now, because we don't want to disturb you. Yeah.